So now we will see some miscellaneous methods. For example, if you want to know the shape of a table like we did in NumPy, so in that case you just need to write df dot shape. Okay, so it will be in the shape of that particular table. So we have this ndf2, right? So if you write over here ndf2, you can see it printed the number of rows and number of columns. Okay, now we have the one more thing, that is info method. So df dot info method. Okay, that means you have to put parentheses, and if you run it, you can see this is a data frame class, and the range is 3 entries, and the columns are 0 to 2, and this column take not null values, and if it is an object type or integer type, whatever, so you can see the information of that particular data frame. Okay, and now if you want to count the duplications of like number of same things, then you can just write df, then in the df, then in the box bracket we have to write the column name. So for example, we have to write name, because the name has this duplication, Batman has 2 times, so the count will be increased 2 times. So then dot value underscore count. Okay, and in the parentheses we have to set drop na, that is equals to false. Okay, I'll tell you why I am writing drop n equals to false, and if I run it, you can see, okay, there is an invalid syntax. We put curly brackets over here, so I'll just remove that. Yeah, now if I run it, there is an attribute error. There is no attribute called value count. Yeah, it's actually value counts. Okay, so yeah, now if I run it, you can see that Batman has this count 2 times and Alfred has 1 times, right? So now let's talk why we put drop n equals to false. That is because if there is a null value, then it will calculate that null value as well. For example, we have this bond, right? We have this bond which has these 2 null values, right? So if I write over here bond, and if I run it, you can see that the null value has 2 times, it counted that null values as well. So if you make it true, it will not count the null values, it will only count the values which is not null. Okay, so if I run it, you can see now it printed only one thing which is not null. So similarly, if I just write over here toy and the drop in is equals to true, then it will only count those values which is not null. So here it is Batmobile and Bullwhip, right? So if I set it false, it will also count the null values. So you can see that null values is now added. And the last one is, I guess, not null. Obviously there are so many methods in pandas. You can just check the documentation, and whenever you need something, you can just google it. Okay, you already saw that I googled that drop duplicates and drop na, so you can obviously do that things as well, because it is impossible to remember everything at the moment, right? So the last one is not null. So we already saw that, where is that null values, where is that is null? Yeah, so we already saw that how to use this is null, right? So if there is a null value, it will return true, otherwise it will return false, right? So let me just write over here ndf2 dot is null. Oops. You can see it is printing this true for only C column, and everything else is false. So similarly, if you just write ndf2 dot not null, that means if the value is not null, then it will return true, otherwise it will return false. So it is totally opposite of is null. So that means that A and D will return true, otherwise so C will return false. Okay, so if I run it, you can see this A and D column is returning true and the C is returning false. Okay,